Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to jump down into the world of Bitcoin briefly to give you a brief update into what has been going on and most recently what we think is going to happen next and all that great stuff. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will stay up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Of course, if you haven't joined us in Discord, link is in the description below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7, completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Okay, let's get right on into this. It's going to be a brief one. We haven't got a lot of time today, but do join us in Discord if you want more information about TA and various different things that are going on in the space. So Bitcoin paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source. Now, for the most part, what we saw in a brief update that we did yesterday was this three-wave structure up here. We're looking for this move to the downside. We can see we have pulled back a little bit more. At the moment, this doesn't look anything more than this. It's not looking like it's a five-wave trend structure to the downside or anything like that. So it doesn't look like we are anything kind of more than maybe a three-wave drop here at this point. Now, for the most part, we are still expecting this move down here. It is, of course, towards the $16,216, okay? If I zoom out just a fraction here, you can kind of see it's a big three-wave drop, right? We have three waves here, we had three waves up. Now, this can be five waves down on a grander scale, so it could look something like this. Could be wave one, we could go up to 2, 3, 4, and 5. It could do that, okay? And this might trap people as well, because as soon as people start thinking that you've got this huge five-wave structure here, that all of a sudden we're trending down. But when we start taking into consideration the entire structure, it wouldn't necessarily look like that. Okay, so it would be, in this case, in this example, 335. But of course, we could also see this as a three-wave drop. Okay, and basically that comes down like so, right? Again, this is an estimated low point at 16,216, not a guarantee, just the 1-to-1 ratio with this structure here. So if the C wave here was to be the same size as our A wave, then essentially it's 16,216. Now we do this and we say it's a 1-to-1 ratio because that's the most common, it's the most typical move that you would see within the space. It's not a guarantee though. Sometimes they fall short, sometimes they go longer. Okay, so just keep a close eye on that. This is just an estimate. Obviously, on this journey to the downside, there are a couple of other key areas. We obviously have the 17,622. That's this dash line just coming across here. Okay, just the top of this yellow box. That is the June low, right? That was as touted by many different people across various different social media platforms as the bear market bottom. Okay, obviously 16,216 is lower than this, so that therefore with this would become the bear market bottom. It all depends on what you want to choose to believe as to whether you think the bottom is in or the bottom is not in. Entirely up to you. Okay, so obviously, as we can see, we're getting closer to it, and this is a key area for us. Underneath this one is a subwave count, and that basically shows us a little bit lower, right? $17,113.50. That's actually doesn't count anymore. In fact, this area here can potentially now be removed, and we can extend this yellow box down to this range here. This basically now gives us this little range area between 16,218 and 17,622. Okay, and this is basically the area that we probably think is the most common in terms of an area for a bounce. Okay, now we can go ahead and go a little bit deeper. If we go ahead and turn this on, this here is basically showing us our liquidity areas. Let me actually go into the settings of this for a second and just see what we've got. We've got the daily here, we've got the weekly, we've got the monthly. We haven't got the 1 and 4 hours. Let me go toggle these on as well, and we can go ahead and take a look. Actually, you know what, I'm going to turn those off. I'm really just going to focus in on these moves, because what I think is really important that we look for here is not so much the monthly, but the weekly ones. Okay, so if we kind of start to come down in here, you can kind of see all these lines in here, right? These are all liquidation points for Bitcoin as the price goes up, right? So this will basically be liquidating anyone who's going short. And down here, we can see that we have been liquidating people who have been going long on Bitcoin. So all these dashed lines here, these are liquidity areas that have already been hit. Okay, so we know that they've already come in. People have already been liquidated there. Okay, and as we come down, we can see a couple of interesting areas on these zones, right? So typically how retail investors would work, they'll look at this low here, and if they're going to go long, they're going to put their stop loss around here. Then you create this little red line, and I don't know if you can see this. Let me just go ahead and actually just temporarily delete that. This one right here, okay, this is a big pocket of liquidity. Okay, so knowing how the whales and the institutional players, the market makers are operating, this little area is going to be the area that people are, that the price is probably going to gravitate towards, okay? And probably going to come down here and liquidate, okay? So when we start thinking about this double bottom, okay, this is an area of liquidity. So we might bounce from here briefly, okay, and then target some more liquidity a little bit higher, okay, as usually that's how it works. And of course, as we see, there's one down here at 17,900. And of course, if I come down here just a little bit lower and I remove this one, you can see the previous June low is also a really big pocket of liquidity. Okay, so we have to understand that this is potentially going to be an interesting area where we'll come down, we wick it down here or something like that, we liquidate everyone, and then the price will move back up again. Okay, so you've got liquidation here within our little range at this particular point. Okay, this is a pretty decent pocket. These are minor, they're not really that important. But this one down here is a big pocket of liquidity. Okay, so do expect this to get hit at some point. I'm not confident in thinking that they're going to go up just yet. And of course, as that price does have to gravitate, you can see that the next real big pocket of liquidity is up here at 22,000. Okay, I'm not saying that we're going to go straight up there or anything like that, but I do think there's a bounce coming to the upside to punish all the people who have been short in the market as well as the people going long on the market. Okay, and so just be aware that there's a lot of various things going on here. And again, these are spanning across different time frames. I've not included the 4 hours and the 1 hours, but if I were to put those on, you can start to see that these get layered into the equation as well. But really, if we're looking at the kind of a really long-term picture, we are of course looking at these pockets of liquidity. Okay, so just understand that there is a lot going on in the space, and we're going to be looking for these areas to basically get liquidated. Now, if I bring this up, we can just talk about the inflows and the outflows on Bitcoin. We can see that yesterday there was a slight increase on the inflows versus the outflows, so more Bitcoin going onto exchanges than was coming off. So again, the supply outpaces the demand. And as we take a look at the whale wallets, we can also see that they continue to sell down as the price goes up a little bit. So basically, yeah, they are using any liquidity they can to exit their positions. And over in here, you can see the sharks coming down, the dolphins are getting shaken out of the space, and the shrimps are actually getting shaken out as well, which is really unfortunate. And so just be aware that there's a lot going on in the space, and essentially, this market is very, very volatile at the moment. You want to try to make sure that you're on the right side of these moves. Guys, I'm going to leave the video right there. It's a brief one today. Haven't got a lot of time, but do join us down in Discord, and we can answer any of your questions down there as well. Guys, until the next one, have a fantastic day.